Hello, my fellow midnight wanderers. Welcome to Bland Recital for Sleep. Coffee stains, midnight ramblings. I'm your host, just a guy who's spilled coffee on his shirt at least 3 times today. Maybe 4. Who's counting? If you're here to drift into dreamland while I ramble about the most gloriously pointless stories tied to coffee stains and life's little oopsies, you've found your happy place. No effort required here. Just unbuckle, sink into your pillows, and let my voice guide you into a cozy, caffeine-scented slumber. We're about to embark on a 3-hour journey through the stains of life, so settle in for some delightfully trivial tales. Let's get started. Picture this. It's 7 a.m. You're late for work, chugging a latte like it's the key to eternal youth. You're strutting down the sidewalk, feeling like you could star in a coffee commercial, until you trip over absolutely nothing. That latte? Now it's modern art on your crisp white shirt. Coffee stains are the universe's way of reminding you who's boss. I once had a stain on my tie that looked exactly like Abraham Lincoln's face, beard and all. I wore it to a meeting, and my boss thought I was making a bold fashion statement. Nope, just clumsy. That stain had charisma, though. It could have had its own fan club, maybe even a podcast. Coffee stains are like snowflakes. No two are ever the same. There's the drip down the chin stain, the eye tried to catch the cup but failed splatter, and my personal favorite, the eye left the mug on my novel and now it's a coaster ring. My copy of Moby Dick has so many coffee rings, it looks like it was used as a prop in a barista training video. Coffee stains always find the worst possible place to land. Never on a napkin. Oh no. It's always my laptop, my favorite sweater, or, one memorable time, my neighbor's dog. Poor Fido looked like he'd been dunked in a cappuccino. I tried to apologize, but he just wagged his tail and smelled like decaf for a week. I have this friend, Jerry, who's practically a coffee stain connoisseur. He claims he can tell what kind of coffee you spilled just by analyzing the stain. That's a medium roast Ethiopian blend, probably from that hipster cafe on 5th Street, he'll say, squinting at your shirt like he's solving a crime. I tested him once, spilled some instant coffee on my jeans. He took one look and said, "Dude, that's not coffee. That's liquid regret." He wasn't wrong. Jerry's got this whole theory about coffee stains being a window into your soul. Like, if you've got a splotchy stain, you're chaotic. A neat ring? You're secretly organized. I don't know if I buy it, but it's fun to think about while I'm scrubbing my shirts in vain. Speaking of coffee shops, let's talk about where these stains are born. There's this place near my apartment called Bean Bonanza. Sounds like a candy store, but it's just a tiny shop with overpriced lattes and baristas who look like they're auditioning for a Wes Anderson film. I saw a guy order a triple-shot oat milk cappuccino with a lavender foam heart. A foam heart. I just wanted a black coffee, but now I'm wondering if my life lacks flair. I tripped on the way out and added a new stain to my shoe. It felt personal, like the coffee was out to get me. That shop's got this vibe, though. Wooden tables, Edison bulbs, and a chalkboard menu with handwriting so perfect it makes you feel inadequate. I keep going back, though, because their coffee is worth the inevitable stains. Let me tell you about the great coffee stain incident of 2023. I was at my cousin's wedding, trying to look sophisticated with a tiny espresso cup, because apparently that's what fancy people drink. I'm holding this thimble of coffee, trying to dance to Sweet Caroline without spilling. Spoiler. I failed spectacularly. The espresso went airborne, landed on the bride's uncle's suit, and formed a perfect circle, like a caffeinated crop circle. He was cool about it, said it gave his suit character. I think he was just being nice because I was covering the open bar tab. That stain became the talk of the wedding. People were taking selfies with it. I'm pretty sure it's still circulating on social media somewhere. Why are coffee stains so stubborn? You can wash a shirt 5 times, use every stain remover under the sun, and that stain's still there, smirking like it owns the place. My theory, Coffee stains are the ghosts of caffeine past, haunting you for all the times you chugged a red-eye at 2 a.m., thinking you'd be productive. Instead, you just reorganized your sock drawer until dawn. True story. I once spent 3 hours color-coding my socks because I was wired on cold brew. Now, every coffee stain I see is a reminder to chill out. They're like little life lessons in brown, telling you to slow down and maybe switch to decaf. Coffee stains inspire the most ridiculous life hacks. I read online that you should dab a stain with club soda and whisper sweet nothings to the fabric. I tried it. The stain laughed at me. Then there's the vinegar and baking soda trick. My shirt ended up smelling like a science fair volcano. I saw another hack that said to rub a stain with a lemon wedge under a full moon. I didn't try that one, but I'm tempted, just to see if the stain would surrender out of sheer confusion. At this point, I just embrace the stains. They're like battle scars from my ongoing war with gravity. Let's talk about coffee mugs, the unsung heroes of the stain saga. I have this one mug with a sloth in sunglasses, basically my spirit animal. The inside is a coffee stain masterpiece, layers of brown rings telling the story of every late-night cram session, every early morning existential crisis, and that one time, I tried to taste the rainbow with every coffee blend in my pantry. I scrubbed it once, but felt like I was erasing history. That mug deserves a spot in the Coffee Stain Hall of Fame, if such a thing exists. I bet it does. Somewhere in Seattle, next to a shrine for artisanal pour-overs. Coffee stains make you notice things. I was staring at a stain on my desk that looked like a tiny map of Florida. I spent 20 minutes wondering if it was telling me to move to Miami, then realized I was just procrastinating my taxes. That's the magic of coffee stains. They're like Rorschach tests for caffeine addicts. You see what you want to see: a heart, a cloud, a poorly drawn llama. I once saw a stain on my couch that looked like Elvis Presley's profile. I didn't clean it for weeks because I felt like it was watching me. Creepy, but kind of inspiring. Coffee stains love certain places. Keyboards, for instance. My laptop's keys are half plastic, half espresso. Typing feels like I'm playing a symphony of coffee residue. Car cup holders are like coffee stain museums. I bet mine has traces of every coffee shop within a 10-mile radius. And library books? I once returned one with a coffee stain so big it looked like I'd used it as a placemat. The librarian gave me a look that said, "You're banned from civilization." I apologized profusely, but I'm pretty sure that book is now in the library's stained treasures collection. Let's dive deeper into the coffee shop scene. There's this other place I go to sometimes, called Brewed Awakening. Cheesy name, I know, but they make a mean flat white. The barista there, Mia, has this knack for remembering everyone's order. I walk in, and she's already pouring my medium drip before I say a word. But last week, I tried to mix things up and ordered a matcha latte. Big mistake. I spilled it on my jacket, and let me tell you, green stains are just as bad as coffee stains, but they make you look like you lost a fight with a smoothie. Mia just laughed and handed me a napkin. I think she's seen me spill enough to know it's my brand. You ever notice how coffee stains seem to multiply when you're stressed? I was prepping for a big presentation last month, running on nothing but caffeine and sheer panic. By the end of the week, my desk looked like a Jackson Pollock painting, all coffee splatters and desperation. I had a stain on my notes that looked like a tiny tornado. I took it as a sign that my presentation was going to be chaotic. Spoiler: it was. But the coffee stains? They were there for me, like loyal, messy friends. Let's talk about coffee shop etiquette for a minute. There's an unspoken rule that if you spill coffee, you have to act like it's no big deal. You dab at it with a napkin, smile, and pretend you meant to redecorate your pants. I'm terrible at this. I spilled a cappuccino at Brewed Awakening once, and instead of playing it cool, I yelped like I'd been attacked. Everyone stared. Mia, the barista, just slid me another coffee and said, "Happens to the best of us." I think she's my guardian angel, or at least my guardian barista. Coffee stains have this way of turning you into a storyteller. I was at a family reunion last year, and somehow my coffee stain collection became the main topic. My Aunt Linda said she once spilled coffee on her wedding dress during the ceremony. She laughed it off, but her husband still brings it up every anniversary. My cousin Tim chimed in with a story about spilling coffee on his boss's desk during an internship. The stain looked like a smiley face, which he said saved him from getting fired. By the end of the night, we were all trading stain stories like they were family heirlooms. Maybe they are. You ever try to hide a coffee stain? It's a losing battle. I once tried to cover a stain on my shirt with a strategically placed scarf. Worked for about 5 minutes until someone pointed out that I looked like I was auditioning for a pirate movie. Another time, I tried flipping my jacket inside out to hide a stain. Turns out, the inside had an even bigger stain from a previous spill. It's like coffee stains have a secret society, plotting to make me look like a walking disaster. Let's talk about the science of coffee stains for a second. Because, yes, I've thought about this way too much. There's this thing called the coffee ring effect, where the liquid dries and leaves that iconic ring. It's why your mug stains look like tiny halos of shame. I read that scientists study this to understand fluid dynamics or something equally nerdy. I don't care about the science. I just want to know why my coffee always picks the worst moment to stage its escape. Like, I'll be in a quiet meeting, trying to look professional, and my cup decides it's time for a dramatic spill. Every time. Coffee stains also have this weird social power. They're conversation starters. I was at a coffee shop once, and a stranger noticed a stain on my sleeve. Instead of judging me, she laughed and showed me a matching stain on her bag. We ended up chatting for an hour about our worst spill stories. She had one about spilling coffee on a first date, right on the guy's shoes. She said he married her anyway, so maybe coffee stains are romantic. I'm not convinced, but it's a nice thought. Let's take a detour to my office, where coffee stains are basically part of the decor. My cubicle is like a coffee stain gallery. There's the splash from when I sneezed mid-sip, the drip from when I tried to answer my phone and drink at the same time, and the mysterious smudge that I'm pretty sure predates my employment. My coworker Sarah says my desk is a caffeine crime scene. She's not wrong. I keep meaning to clean it, but every time I try, I just end up adding another stain. It's a vicious cycle. You know what's worse than a coffee stain? A coffee stain you don't notice until it's too late. I went to a parent-teacher conference once with a stain on my shirt that looked like a tiny dinosaur. My kid's teacher was too polite to say anything, but I caught her staring. I tried to play it off like it was intentional, like I was embracing the messy dad aesthetic. She didn't buy it. Now I check my clothes like a hawk before leaving the house. Spoiler, I still miss stains all the time. Let's circle back to coffee shops one more time, because I can't help it. There's this one barista at Bean Bonanza named Kyle, who's obsessed with latte art. He spends like 5 minutes perfecting a foam leaf, and I'm just standing there, knowing I'm going to ruin his masterpiece with my clumsy hands. Sure enough, last time I got one of his lattes, I spilled it on my scarf before I even left the counter. Kyle just sighed and said, "You're keeping me in business." I think he's onto something. My spills probably fund his paycheck. You ever notice how coffee stains seem to follow you through life? I was cleaning out my closet the other day and found an old t-shirt from college. It had a coffee stain on it from a late-night study session 10 years ago. I could practically smell the cheap diner coffee just looking at it. That stain was like a time capsule, reminding me of the days when I thought 8 a.m. classes were the end of the world. Now I'd take an 8 a.m. class over a 7 a.m. meeting any day. Growing up is weird. Coffee stains also make you appreciate the little things. Like, I have this one napkin from a coffee shop that I managed to keep stain-free. It's my proudest achievement. I'm thinking about framing it. Or there's the time I spilled coffee on my phone and it somehow still worked. I called it my caffeine-proof phone for weeks. My friends thought I was nuts, but they don't understand the bond between a man and his miraculously unstained tech. Let's talk about coffee stain folklore. My grandma used to say that a coffee stain on your shirt means good luck. I'm pretty sure she made that up to make me feel better about my chronic spilling, but I choose to believe it. Every time I spill now, I tell myself it's a sign that something great is coming. So far, the only thing that's come is more laundry, but I'm holding out hope. Maybe one day I'll spill coffee and win the lottery. A guy can dream. Coffee stains are universal, you know? Doesn't matter if you're a CEO or a broke college student. Spill coffee, and you're instantly humbled. I saw a guy in a fancy suit spill an Americano on himself at Brewed Awakening. He tried to play it cool, but you could tell he was mentally rewriting his life choices. Meanwhile, I'm over here with a stain on my hoodie, nodding like, "Welcome to the club, buddy." Coffee stains don't discriminate. I think coffee stains are secretly trying to teach us something. Like maybe they're saying, "Hey, slow down. Enjoy the moment. Stop rushing." Or maybe they're just saying, "You're a klutz, and I'm here to remind you." Either way, I've learned to live with them. My wardrobe is basically a canvas for coffee art at this point. I'm thinking about starting a fashion line called Stain Chic. It's niche, but I think it could catch on. Well, folks, we've reached the end of tonight's Bland Recital for Sleep, Coffee Stains, Midnight Ramblings. I hope my endless chatter about coffee stains, baristas, and life's little spills has lulled you into a state of blissful drowsiness. If you're still awake, you're tougher than a coffee stain on a white couch, and that's saying something. Thanks for joining me on this long, caffeine-fueled journey through the mundane. Dream of perfectly brewed coffee, stain-free shirts, and maybe a sloth in sunglasses sipping a latte. Until next time, keep spilling, keep living, and sleep tight. Good night, my fellow stain enthusiasts.